Hey everyone, One Big Boss here, and well, as you can tell from the title of the video down below, we are talking Expendables 3. Now, my buddies and I went last night about 10 o'clock because they don't really do midnight showings anymore, sadly, but we went to see it, and we were all hyped up for this movie. I had a lot of worries when I came to this movie, but a lot of hope, and I was glad to see that like my worries weren't as bad as I thought they'd be. I mean, seriously, like I thought I had a lot to worry about with this movie, and also a lot that I would enjoy. And I found out that, again, my worries were not that bad. So, pretty much, like, this is going to be like a review of the Expendables 3 here on New2RetroReviews. So, a lot of people are wondering, you know, third time around, is it getting old? Is it getting stale? Does Stallone and the others still have what it takes to make it an exciting movie? Yes. Yes, it does. You know, like, the plot for this movie is very simple. It's simple, like 1980s simple, which is the whole point. You know, it's... You know, Mel Gibson's character is a arms dealer and a former expendable. He captures the new team of expendables that Stallone created, and Stallone and the old team go to rescue them. And honestly, like, a lot of things really work well in this movie. I gotta admit, like, I was really surprised at a lot of things, and some things I wasn't. So, you know, but you know, like, I gotta admit that there was a lot of characters in this movie. And I was like, man, are they all going to get enough time? Are some of these newcomers going to be really that good? Let's just start with the junior Expendables, pretty much, is what they were called in the movie. I wasn't really too impressed by really any of them. Like, you know, I tried to look at it from this different point of view. I was like, look, they're not trying to take over, like, the place of the old Expendables. They're just there to do this job. But, you know, it was also like a young man's game, which is what this whole movie was really about. You know, that's why Stallone disbanded the old guys. He wanted the old guys to live, and after what happened to... Well, actually, right now there's going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this. Okay, you've had enough time. Terry Crews's character, Caesar, he gets shot about 25, maybe 30 minutes into the movie, I think. It kind of felt like he was in the movie for a long time, but Mel Gibson's character, instead of killing Stallone's character, he shot Terry Crews in the leg, and then right through the back, and I think it like went through the chest part too. And for the whole movie, he's out. So, you know, like, there's that. But, you know, like, I was really upset by that. And then, you know, you see these new guys come in. You know, Stallone is hell-bent on revenge, but he doesn't want to take his old team with him. You know, he wants them to live, and he wants people now that, like, don't mind taking a bullet and don't mind dying. And this new crew, like I said, none of them really got fleshed out that well. They weren't really something that you could connect to right off the bat, except for, like, Ronda Rousey's character. I was kind of surprised about, you know, not that I'm, like, against women in action movies or anything like that. You know, a lot of people were back in the 80s and even 90s sometimes, but her character was actually pretty well liked. I can understand why she was a good role for this. I mean, I'm not sure if Gina Carano would have been exactly perfect for a role like this. I think she did a pretty good job, but the others were just there. I don't really feel that their traits and the true, like, badassness that they were supposed to be was really explored throughout this film. So, like, that was kind of like the weak point, you know. Their connection with the other Expendables wasn't really that interesting either. There was a few quips and quirks that, you know, and like one-liners and shots fired back and forth at one another, which were pretty decent. But again, like, you know, you just felt that they were there to advance the whole plot of the story, pretty much. You know, give motivation for the others coming back. You know, kind of hoping we don't see them again in a fourth installment, because, like I said, I don't really feel that they were that strong of a point for the actual story. But moving on to the other characters, right off the bat, Wesley Snipes, he was written so well and acted so well, you would have thought that he's been with the Expendables since the first two movies. His character was captured 8 years ago, and they finally broke him out. They found where he was, they broke him out, and he just is insane. Like Wesley Snipes, insane, like, perfectly awesome. And I gotta give him credit. He actually pokes fun at his incarceration, because they're all asking him, you know, like, what were you in for? Because they broke him out of a black site that doesn't exist. And he just leans back and stares at him and goes, tax evasion. And it was fucking hilarious, you know. Like, I thought that that part right there, you know, he can make fun of himself for, you know, what happened and stuff. You know, that's really good. And his character was just like, the whole first kind of part of the movie was almost about him, really. You know, like his character and stuff. And I thought that was really well done. He clicks perfectly with Stallone and even Statham, like, because they both throw knives and everything like that, and they're they're both really a good team up. Like their chemistry just boom connected like that. You know, like that's something you don't see in a lot of movies these days. Let's see, who else do we got? Oh yeah, Kelsey Grammer was unreal. Like Kelsey Grammer was one of my favorite actors of all time because he is really good at what he does. Pretty much anything. Like he's got that voice, he's got the confidence, and he's really good at acting different roles. You know, and this role, like he was kind of a, I don't know, what would you call him? Maybe like a contractor to find new blood. You know, he finds people, teams to make and stuff like that. Apparently, he was the one who set up the Expendables last time. He was the one who helped Barney get all that team together and stuff like that, I guess. So his role was pretty good, and they got this real serious moment in the car where they're driving to find one of the newer Expendables. And he goes, he asks Stallone's character, goes, "When's the last time you got checked, like your health?" And he goes, and Stallone's like, wow. And then he goes, "Well, probably should. Found a black spot on my lung. Who knew?" And Stallone's like, "Oh, jeez, I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry." And Kelsey Grammer's all like, no, it's okay. You know, just makes you think about life, and you know, just gotta make a bunch of money, give it to the kids that still talk to me, try to do things right for them before I die. And he goes, "I can understand that." And Kelsey Grammer goes, "I'm just fucking with you anyway." And it was, like, the connection those two had were really good. Like, right off the bat, like, you know, Kelsey Grammer wasn't in the first two, and, you know, he connected well. And his role pretty much ended there when he got him the new team, and, like, they're driving away at the end of getting them all together, and, you know, even Kelsey Grammer's like, "You ain't got a chance in hell against Conrad, or Stonewall." I can't remember the exact name of it because it's such a weird name, but Stonewall is the character that Gibson plays. And, so, yeah, Kelsey Grammer was, like, a great part for that movie. Robert Davey, a lot of you might know him as Agent Johnson, no, the other one from the original Die Hard movie, and he's in a lot of other movies too. And he was reported to be in the movie, but nobody knew what role he had. So when he walks out on the screen, you're all just like, me and my buddies were like, yes! And then, I mean, it's a small role, but it's really nice to see a lot of these actors from like the 80s and everything coming back for this, and he did a really good job for the part that he was in. Harrison Ford, he takes over for, you know, Bruce Willis's character, and they take a shot at that. They're like, you know, "You won't have to be worrying about Mr. Church anymore. He's gone for good." And it's like, damn, they just took a shot at friggin' Bruce Willis for what they just did there. Because, I mean, as you all know, Bruce Willis was originally going to be in this movie a third time. And his parts would only take 4 days to film, so he wanted $4 million, and they offered him 3, and he was like, you know, "Fuck you guys, I'm leaving." So, you know, they kind of gave him the middle finger back when Harrison Ford said that. Now, Ford in this role was actually really interesting. You know, I was expecting, you know, maybe some kind of like Indiana Jones wit, or, you know, maybe even like some Han Solo badassness, you know, something to throw out to the fans, because that's what a lot of these characters in this movie seem to do, like throwback to something they've all done. But he really didn't, but he also made the character his own. Like, he really just came out with this character and just nailed it perfectly. He was a great character, and, you know, he couldn't understand, what was it, Jason Statham's character. He couldn't understand Jet Li's character when he finally came onto the scene. So it was really funny how the jokes worked, and, you know, just how Harrison Ford still has it, because I haven't really been impressed with a lot of Ford's movies in the last couple of years. So seeing him in something like this was actually really good. Let's see who else. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, what can you say? He's got a bigger role than he did in the first two movies combined, and he's just fucking hilarious. And of course, he said it. He said his famous "Get to the chopper" line in the movie twice, actually. And me and my friends were just all like going, yes! Because you gotta understand, like, me and my friends, we were born in, like, you know, 87. Some of us were born in 84, and the others were born in like 89 or 90. So growing up with these kind of movies and these iconic roles and characters was really something for us. And you know, Schwarzenegger delivers the comedy that we've all known him for. Like, something like, if anybody else was to try to do what he would do, it just wouldn't work. But for some reason, because it's Schwarzenegger, it works. And they give him plenty to do in this movie. I gotta tell you, I was not, you know, like, I really liked what he did in this movie. Let's see, who else do we gotta do we got to cover in this? Oh yeah, like I said, Jet Li came back in the movie towards the end. He was on Trent's team now, which was funny. And they're like, "You working for Trent now?" And he goes, "He paid me more money." You know, it was really good, you know, to see him back. I mean, sadly, he didn't get any fight. Did he get a fight scene? No, he was in the chopper the whole time. He didn't get any fight scenes, which was kind of sad because this is Jet Li we're talking about. You know, a couple of quick fight scenes, like even like he had in the Expendables 2, because it was only in like the first 15 minutes of the movie. But regardless, it was great to have him actually, you know, just come back to the role. Because this is like one of those movies where, you know, you can disappear from one of the movies and just be welcomed back if you come back for like a sequel, even like a quick cameo. Because like Bruce Willis's character and Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in the first movie, they were only in for like 10 minutes. And it was really like a nice welcome addition because you saw those two plus Stallone on screen all together like at the same time. Let's see, who else we oh yeah. Mel Gibson, what can I say? Great villain. If you saw him in Machete Kills, even though that movie wasn't that great, you know, you see that Gibson still has it. Yeah, he's like Mad Max to the insane in this, you know, to the extreme in this movie, but he's really good. He feels like one of those old 80s and 90s villains that you can connect to. Because if you remember, like, back in the day with the 80s and 90s, they really developed characters, and not just, like, the heroes, but a lot of their villains in movies, like, were pretty memorable for, like, what they did. Like, you know, look at, like, Die Hard, the first one. Alan Rickman's Hans Gruber. He was memorable for years. He's, like, made, like, the top, like, he's, like, in, like, the top 10, like, or not, like he's, like, number 10 or 4 in, like, the top 100 greatest movie villains of all time, and, like, in those movie lists and shit like that. He's always there. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Gotta shut my phone off. Let's see. Yeah, but no, like they were all great in the movie. I thought that they, you know, all did an extremely good job. You know, like I said, Mel Gibson was he was great in going toe to toe with, you know, Stallone's character was really great. He did a fantastic job doing that and antagonizing him. He was a great movie villain. I think it was a great role for him to do. I think it was really something special. And let's see, who else do we gotta talk? Oh yeah, so I gotta talk about my disappointments with the movie. Now, the new cast came in, and for a good small portion of the movie, it was about them, which I understand why it had to be. But when the older guys came back, I felt like most of them kind of got like, you know, swept aside. Two of the main ones that I think that didn't get the recognition they deserved, and kind of been like a little, you know, left behind in a lot of the other movies, was Randy Couture's character and Dolph Lundgren's character. Now, those two are great, and in the first two movies, they do have some pretty memorable moments / fight scenes / you know, one-liners and stuff like that, you know. And in 2, they still did, but I felt like they took a back seat a little bit. And then in this third one, I really felt like they took a back seat. And, you know, I kind of wish they had more. Granted, yes, they do get to commandeer a tank, and they're firing it through the battlefield, and it's shit like that, and, you know, they're all saying, like, you know, we'll do it for Caesar! And everything, you know, and I gotta say, like, that was really cool, you know, but I still felt like they could have got some, like, actual, like, fist-fighting scenes, because this movie was more guns blazing and, like, technology kind of stuff than martial arts, like in the first 2 movies. And, let's see, so yeah, like, I was kind of disappointed that they didn't get a big role in it. You know, Stallone and Jason Statham's character, they got a lot of time. Wesley Snipes' character did. Oh, that's the other character I forgot. Antonio Banderas, like, he makes the last half of this movie. Like, when you first see him, he's insane. Like, you know, I guess he says in the thing, he goes, courageous, but insane. And, you know, I was kind of, like, iffy about having him in this movie. Really, like, I mean, you know, I wasn't really sure about it. But he brings something to this movie, like the insanity of his character, of how good he really is. Like, you know, a lot of people just find him like, he's like a jabberjaw, like a motormouth. He doesn't stop talking. Which kind of ticks off a lot. And at one point they go, think I know why your team left you behind, and everything. You know, it was really funny, the shit that he was doing. But he proved to be a great member of the team, and his jokes and the things he does will keep you laughing. Like I said, me and my friends, we just laughed a lot throughout this whole movie. So, you know, like, that was something good that he wasn't. But, you know, we gotta get back to the bad. You know, the final fight scene between, what do you call it there? Stallone and Gibson. Sorry, I blanked out there. I was really not too impressed with it. It's kind of like how you felt in the second Expendables movie. Like, you know, the Stallone and Van Damme met up, and like you could feel the tension, and you thought the fight was gonna be long and badass, and the way it kind of ended was kind of lame. And unfortunately with this way too, like it was the same thing. Yeah, their fight scene was pretty good, but I don't know, the way it ended was kind of, I thought, you know, the one-liner that they would deliver at the end would have been a little bit better than what it was. It's not going to make anything memorable, or maybe it will. Maybe it'll catch fire. Who knows? I personally don't think so, but, you know, that's just me. Let's see. What's something else I had about the problem about the movies that I had? Oh, yeah. I actually had a problem with how Mel Gibson's character as the villain, he had no memorable sidekicks, like no henchmen that were memorable. They released some muscle-bound guy that like friggin' like crashes through walls and stuff, and I kind of felt like he was that big guy from the original Double Dragons game. But, you know, other than that, like, there was nobody, you know, that he could bounce ideas off of or anything like that, or really connect with, you know, because in the first Expendables movie you had Eric Roberts as the main villain, and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Gary Daniels were like his badass backup henchmen, like his like other, like his generals, you know, and they were great, and they got special time too, you know, and they got killed, but they had great time, you know. Stone Cold fought Randy Couture and Stallone, and Gary Daniels was fighting Jason Statham and Jet Li, you know, and that was great. And in the second one, Van Damme, he had the great Scott Adkins, who he's done a lot of movies with in the past. So, you know, he had somebody that you could relate to, and you're like, oh, well, this guy's gonna get like a piece of this action, and you know, and Adkins and Jason Statham had a fight scene at the end of Expendables 2 that was actually really good. It was really good. So, kind of just seeing like how like kind of slow it became towards the end was just meh. And even a lot of the new guys didn't get a lot of like, I'm gonna say badass moments. Like Kellen Lutz's character riding the bike that he was doing, that was okay. Like, it wasn't anything special, except like when he took a gun from a soldier and jammed it into a passing bike and just flipped the guy over. Like, I gotta admit that part was really good. Ortiz was, I don't even know why he was in this movie. He didn't really feel like he was doing much at all. Like, he had a shotgun and like he was taking out guys, and you know, it just, I was like, that's all he's doing. Like, why did they bring him along for this? And the guy who did the computers, like, you know, he was okay for the computer part and stuff, but that's all he was really there for. And you know, I was like, you know, whatever. You know, like, it's minor gripes with this. It's minor gripes I have with this movie about how things were handled. But in the long run, if you actually just, you know, if you really want to go and experience a good, solid action flick, you know, because that's what this movie is. The Expendables 3 has something for every fan of the 80s and 90s action era. And quite frankly, like, you know, they could still continue this. You know, the way they ended it was great. It was funny. It was hilarious. And if they do, this is what me and my buddies were talking about. We sat outside the theater afterwards. You know, it was like almost like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're all sitting out there and we're talking about, like, you know, who's next for the Expendables 4, because you know what's going to happen. And right off the bat I said, give me Steven Seagal as the villain, because you've seen Machete, you know he can do it, and it's going to be fucking hilarious when he does. You know, you also got to get guys like, let's see, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Clint Eastwood, Danny Trejo, Donnie Yen, and of course the one that I want to see the most is Liam Neeson. You know, because he's been exploding on movies in the last couple of years, and it would be great to see him with all these badasses. And I'm trying to think, there was somebody else that I did have in mind that I thought would have been really good. Oh, they got to bring back Mickey Rourke. They got to bring back his character, because he was in the first Expendables and he was great. You know, it would be great to see him on the battlefield with all these legends and shit like that. You know, even Robert Patrick, who played the T-1000 in the Terminator movies, he'd be perfect for a villain role in this. He'd be great, or just some kind of insane gun nut or something like that. You know, he's a really good actor. So, you know, that's my thoughts on these Expendables movies, and where I think that, you know, like the next one could be really good if they plan it out, and this one, not so bad. And here's the thing, it's pretty much the same thing you've seen in the first two, so don't expect anything really new. Just expect a lot of laughs, because again, the comedy in this movie really works well when it's there, and my friends and I, we were all just laughing so much. And if you're a video game fan, you will find so many ways, because me and my buddies were like leaning over, because like we had the whole theater to ourselves. There was like 2 people down in the front row, and me and my 5 buddies were all the way up in the back and everything, and it was just funny as hell. Like, we were leaning over making Metal Gear jokes, because at one point Kellen Lutz's character, he he rides near the tank and stuff, and he throws the grenade right in the tank. And all I can think of is Metal Gear and Vulcan Raven coming out of the thing, you know, and it was just so many great things. And Stallone's character getting blown off a bridge and getting carried in a current, current of waves, which made me think of Snake from Metal Gear Solid 3. So, you know, the movie is fun and exciting for pretty much everybody. Like, it's really a good movie to go see with your friends, especially if they're action friends. You know, if they're action lovers and stuff, gotta do it. You gotta go see it. So go see The Expendables 3, laugh your ass off, because there was an article I read that people had pirated the movie already before it came out. And even people were reading the articles saying, like, you know, I got a copy of that movie, but I'm still going to see it in the theaters. And that just shows you something. If people are pirating this movie, and they're gonna go pay to see the movie after already seeing it, that tells you it's a good movie. Because me and my buds, we already plan on going and see it again, because it's just that great. So, I hope you all enjoyed the review, everybody. Thumbs up the video, subscribe because it's free in this day and age. Free is a damn good thing. So, I'm One Big Boss. I'm off to start my own mercenary company right now, and I will see you all next time.